man.
Let's do it, bro. I'm excited.
Hey, man, it's your boy T. Some of y'all know me as Coach T. Some of y'all know me as Tyron. And if you really, really go way, way back, some of y'all know me as Hall. You know, this is before. But, man, look, this is Garage Talk. It's a space to dialogue, to, just keep it real. Talk about life. Talk about current events. Talk about sports, bro. And today I get the honor of talking about, for the first time on Garage Talk, we're gonna hit up some hip hop a little bit, man. So man, today's guest is known as DS. I know him as DaVonte. Vontae. We met back in 2006.
Yeah, bro.
In a little place called Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Rhema Bible College. The first time I saw this dude, okay, I'm just go ahead and put it on blast. Okay, so I met this Bible college. I really went there to hoop for real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just there to hoop. I wasn't even trying to be up on some like ministry or all that. I just want to hoop. You know what I'm saying? I had been playing street ball for 4 or 5 years after high school. So I'm like, man, I got to get somewhere and hoop. You know what I mean? So, man, I went there and hoop. So I walk into this church as a part of our schedule. I think it was on Thursdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays or something, but it was called Exaltation, right? So I'm walking to Exaltation. Some other schools might call it Mass or whatever the case. Yeah. Walking up in this joint, and I see this dude, and it almost like he had like an entourage or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know.
Why you gonna do me like that?
So brother had on. I think so. I'm trying to remember this. You had on like. I think you had like a gray suit or a gray like a vest or something. But anyway, brother had his paisley tie cracking, and he had his white the white me and Chris used to call those joint scoops, but you had the white dress slide ins on. I'm like, who's this brother? And I ain't gonna lie, I'll be honest with you, I was like, oh, brother, think he all that, because when you first. When you first get to brothers, man, we get to college, or wherever you going, you filling out everybody. So I remember when I first met Chris, shout out to Paul Collins, man. Shout out to that guy. Man, that dude.
That's my guy.
I remember I first met him. We close now. We like brothers. I remember I first met him. I was like, man, who is this dude, man? Thinking you trying to size somebody up. So when I saw you, I'm like, this dude think who is this cat? Who is he, brother? I dunk on that dude. He better not be trying out for the squad.
Don't hoop. Don't come on the court.
Look, I'm looking at him like, man, he look like a little point guard. So I'm gonna give it. So me, I'm just thinking about hoops. I wasn't even thinking about. I wasn't. I was just thinking about hoops, bro. So, man, this is DaVonte Suarez, man. That's when I first met him, man, in 2006. Crazy. That's 14, almost 17 years ago, bro.
It's crazy to think about, bro. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, man. Like, when you hit me up, I was like, heck yeah, man. Like, in my early stages, you were giving me first opportunities and stuff. And, I always tell people, I said, you don't forget those who helped you out to get to where you're trying to get. And
bro,
I remember when where were we at? What was it? Where you let me talk to the kids. Remember that? Like, who is that? Was that the Dream Center? Was it Dream Center?
Did I? Oh snap! I forgot about that.
Yeah, bro. I remember that. I still have like little things I wrote down.
Yeah, Tim and Pastor Tim.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember that. And then Raymond days always called you Kobe, bro, because that jumper, bro. And my boy had them hands, bro. I was like, yo, he like, look. Now we got Kawhi. I was like, bro, I had them Kawhis.
The Kawhis, man. Look, speaking of Kobe, we got something in common in our background.
I know, I saw that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's coming up on a year, man.
Oh, man. I know.
Sorry, man.
Oh.
I still cry. I can't front. I still get emotional and I cry. And I think what always makes me think about it is that You know, honestly, I'll say two things. That day will always change me for the better. You know why? Because Kobe's last words publicly that I saw, you know what I'm saying, remember, is when he told LeBron to continue to push the game forward. And at the time, it didn't hit me until like that day when, because I think it was my wife or somebody who told me because I was asleep and I didn't want to talk about it. And I just like was crying for hours. And then I ended up going back to that. And that's what changed my mindset more so because it's like, what am I doing for the next generation? Like continue to push the game forward is what I always tell myself. Like, so like, man, I miss being a lot, man. I miss being a lot,
I
man.
just told my wife the other day, I said, man, I miss Kobe, man.
I do. Like you will
I
always hear
mean,
something about him.
that dude was he was everything, man. For me, because over here, I'm gonna turn my computer over here too, or my camera. Over here,
Yeah.
you see that dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so for me, Kobe showed us how to go after this guy.
He did. Thank you. He did.
You
So
know,
man, dude, he did. Like, I don't understand. Like, all right, I get why people won't per se. So for me, I was just on a sports show. My brother has one, and I did his, and
oh yeah,
they almost crucified me because what they saw who is the GOAT, and I said Kobe is the GOAT to me, and they were
somebody.
like, what? And I said, look, I said it's all subjective. And I said, because I look at it the same as hip hop. You'll never have a favorite rapper. It's whichever rapper impacted you the
Or
most.
the era, or the
Yeah. And there's so many things. I said, but for me, and it's not because Kobe died, it was a friend of mine who put it in perspective for me. I am a die-hard Laker fan. And I love Michael Jordan. I love LeBron James. I like my teams to compete against them more than I want them on my team. I appreciate LeBron more. I definitely want to appreciate him this year, and I love how he's carrying him this year.
Come on.
But for me, Kobe, because he showed me as somebody who is still doing my craft and my gift, how to not only age gracefully with it, but to go, there is life after this. And a lot of people don't get to see that, bro. I didn't see that from Jordan. We always make fun of him as an owner, his shoes. But with Kobe, he created a whole nother life out of this. And what's more importantly, too, and it would breaks my heart to know that he went down with Gianna, his daughter, and of course the other passengers. But like, it was like you got to see him as a family person. We always saw the competitor and praised that. But the old man Kobe I saw, I think I love that Kobe more than
I needed, and actually I needed that one more than the other one. It's crazy because like, you know, as we're talking about him and remembering him, man, I always call Jordan the GOAT. And Jordan, as a kid, we about the same age. So you came out 02, I came out 2000. So we 80s babies in here. Come on.
Yeah, right.
So Jordan, to be like Jordan was like a far gone thing, right? Like, who's gonna come out the womb 6'6" and jumping like he did and do what he did? It was kind of it was truly a fantasy dream, right? But then you got somebody like Kobe, to me, who actually, and this thing is actually possible to kind of go after. I think you actually can be Mike for real. And so, like you said, I piggyback on what you said about his life after basketball, because for me personally, basketball has been everything. And then, brother, I'm almost 40, bro. I'm 39,
bro. I'm right there with you, bro. But you're doing it, bro.
So the thing about it is like, I was able to see like there's more to life than basketball. And then being that I had my daughter, my firstborn was a girl,
Man.
and then now she's 2. I just had another daughter. She's a month old now, bro.
And you got a new one. You said that, and I was like, wait, what? Bro.
So I'm on the Mamba hours. Newborn stage is all Mamba hours, brother. Let me tell you, it's 24/7. You don't know what day it is. You're like, So, anyways, I think about him now even more. The more, I'm because he had girls, and I'm like, dang, I really needed him now.
Yeah.
Because I was learning from him as a father over girls.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just a big time loss, man. I mean, I
It
don't, you know,
was, man.
it's never gonna. So yeah, man. So man, I want to hop into this thing, man. You know,
Let's
and
do it, bro. You got all my time, bro.
take you through garage talk. I had to do some, some little X Files things, man.
Hey,
Go
let's
and
do it,
pick
bro.
out some
I canceled
things.
everything for this. People was like, "Hey, yo, no, I'm not even playing." They was like, "Yo, can we?" I was like, "Nah, man, it's one of my bros. I haven't talked to him in years." I said, "I'm off. You got all my time, bro." People,
Listen.
when we post this out, it's gonna be a bunch of people like, "Oh, so that's how we do."
Right. Oh, so yeah. Second, when I started, people started hitting me up like, man, I want to get on. I said, all right, man, we're gonna get on, man. We're gonna do it. Trust me, I got some stuff cracking. So Garage Talk Sports Edition. All right.
Okay.
So real quick, man, I talked about how I know you, man, but let's get down in here, man. Let's and before I do that, I also want to tell the people too. I do another thing called Coach T training, which actually became before. It came before Garage Talk, which I train people. I train, whether it's fitness or basketball. I gave it up. I do online through Zoom Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You have 6 a.m. to choose from, or you have 6 p.m. Today was my first day back in this thing from the newborn, little time off. So yeah, man. Coach T training for those out there who trying to get fit, man. Hit me up. But let's get into it, man. Your life story, man. I know where you're from. You used to say it all the time, man. You have the A down, then you have the V up. I mean, all the time. So AV. I didn't even know it was a place. I didn't even know that place. So
that's the place Paul George is from.
Wow. So you're from a place that I followed as a kid. I mean, you're talking about Snoop. You're talking about DPG. You're talking about Daz, which is technically from here. You're talking about
LA versus everybody, boy.
You're talking about DJ Quick, brother. You're talking about Ice Cube. You're talking about NWA. You're talking about man, then you go underground with it to them Sacktown boys, that underground stuff, Lynch, X-Rated, Cody Young.
Boy, they don't know about that.
SIBO, we got. So it's just I love California so much, brother. And so I went there for the first time. I'll get more into that. But man, your life story. So you from AV. Talk about that.
So like originally from I was born and raised. I was from Compton, California, and then my whole family we were in Compton, and then my mom, once she wanted to move out of Compton when her and my father were separated, she moved out of Compton, and then that's when I like to call my stepdad because he's been such like a father influence to me. But my stepdad per se, they say, well, that's when we moved to the AV. And honestly, Cope, I've always felt like, my life has been like a nomad in a sense, because I always I have a lot of friends who are like, I guess we would say military babies, and I would love to sit down and talk to them because they're always in different places. And that's how I feel. I feel like in the sense of, and I don't know the extent of it like them, but Compton is my home city, but then AV is more resonate, Palmdale, Lancaster, all that home, because that's where I went to high school, elementary school. Like I moved out. I did elementary in Carson, California, but then when with my mom, when her and my dad got together, that is, and we moved to Palmdale, Lancaster, and that was a shock. That's why one of my sons, Compton with Love, I talk about that, because that transition is me leaving Compton to go to this new city, which is the AV, and like, what I'm saying, because like it was different. Like I love Compton. My grandmother was in Compton. We had family in Carson, Dominguez Hills, where Tyson Chandler was king at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was a whole, you know what I'm saying, R.I.P. Zeus, Tiny Lester, you know what I'm saying? They're from Compton. Like all this stuff everything Compton, like Tulsa has its own little community, but I didn't grow up in that. And that's what broke my heart a lot as a kid, because it's home. I still have a lot of family there, but I missed it. But I was growing up in it, but it's kind of like you got rooted out before you can be an adult.
Before you can really vibe with it. So, a quick story. I went to, I'm sure you've seen on Facebook maybe, I went to California for the first time right before COVID hit, right before Kobe passed away. right?
Oh, dang. Okay.
So Kobe passed away last January. I went to Cali that October before, right there,
Yeah.
like 4 months, 3 or 4 months before he passed away, right?
Yeah.
Went there, did the whole thing. Mamba Academy, brother, went up in that thing. I was hoping to see this dude. I was hoping. Look, you know how. Listen,
He
you
was
know
looking for my
how.
boy was looking like
Where's he at? Get him down here right now. No. So I went there, and then, but one of the places I went through, I wanted to hit up all the spots. I wanted to hit up Long Beach. I wanted to hit up, Crenshaw. I wanted to hit up Compton. So we went to Inglewood, right?
we went to Cane's. That's
Went to
he.
Inglewood.
My sister saw him at Cane's Chicken.
Yeah. We went down to Inglewood, and I did not get to go in there, but we did definitely pass by, obviously, Crenshaw Boulevard. But I definitely wanted to go down there. I didn't get the second time we didn't get to, but man, look, I gotta make a trip back. I gotta get down into Compton. I know
Get
people
down.
say it's crazy down up in there, but I gotta get. Listen, it would be a disrespect to all the stuff I grew up on. So I gotta get down in there. So man, I love Cali. Shout out to Cali, man. Yeah. So let's talk about that. You went from Compton to AV. Now, is AV like a suburb?
Compton would be, and like keep in mind now being, I feel like I'm Oklahoma because being here so long. Compton at the time, I would say it this way: Compton was super. It was all about being from LA, Los Angeles. AV is more desert. When I took my wife, there's nothing but desert there, and like I have not been as much recently. I make little trips home, but now my family is so scattered because nobody lives in those cities no more. Like my brother was the last one who lived out there, and he just moved out of the AV. And it was definitely a culture shock. AV was different, but what a lot of people, you know what, I take that back because it wasn't too much of a culture shock. Because one thing a lot of people don't know was a lot of families moved to the AV, but a lot of those gangs migrated there too, because they were trying to escape that was in the 80s, 90s, everything with Los Angeles. So AV became its own little gang bubble. I was just sending you a video. They just had a big shutdown not that long ago because they were throwing quarantine parties, and then like it's always been drugs. There's always been all that stuff there. So AV had all these little baby gangsters, had like flocked and migrated together. So they had their own because it was really nothing to do. Not like the Los Angeles city, but like a lot of those families came out there, and that's where more gang violence and stuff. Like it was always somebody getting shot and killed in the AV, and it just was like the circle of life. You know what I'm saying? So,
wow. So, what year did you come to Tulsa or to Oklahoma? Sorry, not Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't remember. I was best.
What was Raymond your first time here?
Raymond was I was supposed to come out a year beforehand.
Brother, me too. Me too.
I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't. And looking back at it, it's crazy now because when I talk to everybody, a lot of people from there, it's like, what would you do? I said, I probably wouldn't have went. I probably would have just came to Oklahoma and went. Like I said, I kind of like it. I said the only thing I was happy about is the friendships, like you and people I met. But I said I don't miss that day. I said I never, and because I realized for me, what God wanted me to get, it wasn't the school, and I realized that it wasn't the school.
Come on, man.
And it took me life to learn that.
Now, to realize that wasn't even about that. Like
it wasn't about that, and that's why it's hard. Man. I always get somebody from Rainbow who two sides they'll either follow me or unfollow me, and I was like, I don't miss them because my real friends they follow me, and like I said, and I say that because it's not a shot to them. It's just that you did nothing for me, like, but give me great friends. I guess I don't want to say that you did give me good friends, but man, a lot of it.
Rainbow, I already Rainbow knew. At that time was special, bro. I mean,
at that time,
and I don't mean Rainbow was special, obviously, but just think about all of us there at that time. I mean, the culture that we brought to this thing at that time. Mm-hmm. You have Paul Collins from Chris from PA,
Philly,
Pennsylvania. Actually, at Pittsburgh. Actually, then you have
Pittsburgh. I forgot.
Yeah, he'll beat you up for the forgive him, Chris, man.
I know.
Other side of the track, Pittsburgh. So and then you have Gerard, who's from what, Ohio or something like
Ohio.
that. Right?
Yeah, he's from Ohio.
Then you have all the people, Jana, and then you had, man, I mean, then the boys from Louisiana, brother. It was so much culture in that joint. Then you have obviously me, the hometown kid, me and Art. I don't know if you remember Art, but me and Arthur, man.
I remember Art.
Yeah, me, a hometown kids right here, representing the 918 on the squad, and then you have yourself, and it was so much different type of but we were all like, I mean, look, I'm saying this now, but we're all extensions of Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? And
we are, and we didn't know what that was at that moment. And I'll take it further because I think you guys came in my third year. So the year before that, you talk about Josh, the Lawson family who came. They were from Baltimore. You talk about my boy Fred. He was from Kansas City. And you know what I'm saying? I had all this and thing. But with Raymond, what I'm grateful for is that those relationships, because I miss all y'all. And like a lot of times people hit me up like, hey, I'm in town. I was like, I ain't going to Raymond. And I said, a lot of it is.
I'm not going to anybody.
Yeah. I don't want to go there. So we can meet anywhere else but there. I have no desire. And I still talk to some of my teachers because I love them truly. But I said, what they could not give me, what I realized I needed, because my Lord and Savior was always in me. Christ was always in me. But I said, the culture, Wakandanness, I said that I didn't realize is what I wanted. And I wanted to see it in a positive light that was not always displayed to me that you guys were giving me. And I didn't understand that then, like I do now.
That we were giving each other. You got to understand.
Exactly.
For me, the step of, I guess you call it a step of faith to go to Rhema, I mean, then you see like different people, you're like, man, what these folks?
Yeah, bro.
Because look, no, and I don't mean like I'm hating on people, but it's just it was like a little culture shock for me. Because like you're talking about a kid from who went to Central High School, bro.
Man, that's where my wife went.
You talking about, bro? No, and not this about race or not, but bro, you talking about a basketball team with no white dudes, all straight black dudes, and and for real, I'm gonna be honest, for real. Even though I was in that culture, like I was like one of the good dudes, right? One of the nice dudes, or whatever you want to call it, who really didn't, you know. But I'm in that, coming from that to that is like, And even my church I grew up in was in the hood. Like, you know, we talking about, you know, over right by you know, Lacey Park, right by Booker T. Like you talking about over there.
Bro.
So so I'm up in there like these folks, you know, okay. So I'm already on guard. Obviously in our community, you know, you see each other with like when I saw you, like, man, who is this dude? This dude think you know, you're on guard, ready just in case, whatever. But obviously, you look back at Raymond like, ain't nothing to pop off in there, brother.
And you know, and honestly, bro, like if I could be honest, and like the reason I always like kind of, I know because you being from here, and then those who left, I tell them sometimes y'all don't get it, because I said for maybe you, God sent you to Rhema for Rhema. I said I now realize for me, God didn't send me to Rhema for Rhema. God sent me to Oklahoma to be a part of the next generation of those who are rebuilding back Black Wall Street. And I said that, and I didn't. And you telling me the 3 to 4 years I was there to not even know where I was at, to not even know that the Wakanda that I was in, the hub that I was in. Because with the Black Wall Street massacre, I'm not that far away. And don't get me wrong, I am thankful. But one thing Pastor Hank used to say, he used to say the natural and the supernatural. They used to talk about that.
Yes.
I said there was so much going on in that natural that I didn't know about, because I'm so focused on this, because you're putting this smoke and mirror up in front of me, because that's what I'm told. But now you have to be woke. And when I started to wake up to it, I realized I don't want no part of this.
Boy, you know you gave me chills, fire, all kind of stuff just now, brother. Let me tell you something. Okay, this is about to blow your mind, bro. And I know we're doing a lot of rambling. This is about to blow your mind. So I went to Rambo. I was at Rambo from 2006 to 2008, right? 2 years.
Yeah.
After that, you know, went back to work, did some other things, whatever case. I went into education teaching in 14, when we got married. When my wife got married, 14. So 14, right?
Yeah.
I think it was 2014 maybe 15 or something, that I found out about Black Wall Street for the first time in my
That's
life.
crazy.
I'm from here.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That is bananas that the school system failed you to not want to teach that history, that they try to cover that up. It was a massacre that happened in Oklahoma that they still don't want to talk about. They still don't want to talk about.
You know what's crazy? You know, we're on this right now. You talking about don't want to talk about. You know, when someone doesn't want to talk about something that was wrongfully done, you know, and then I'm not hating on these people, but I'm not gonna call names. I'm just gonna say well-known people, wealthy people, artists, athletes who maybe have done something to an individual, whether it's sexually or whatever the case, or maybe some baby mama stuff going on, whatever the case.
Yeah.
If they don't want to talk about it, you know what the least they do is, man, I'm just gonna give you all this money. Let's go to settlement cracking. But brothers don't listen. They don't want to talk about it, nor do the reformations and all this stuff like this, right? Which is really crazy. So, yeah, when you look back at the Rhema thing, it wasn't about that. But you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to one dude, man, and everybody who went to Rhema knows this dude, and you know him, and you will get hype when I say his name. All the Rhema family out here. That man, Doug Jones, man. Let me tell you
Doug
something.
Jones is a real one, bro. Doug Jones has always been a real one.
I remember one time he was like, and I just told Arthur about this a couple of days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in class. It's actually during this month of January during the you know, and maybe it was February. I think it was February during the Black History stuff or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
And he's teaching on righteousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about you know people who sit in darkness, you know, seeing a great light, blah blah blah. And he talks about when a judge is in his position, his or her position, notice that their position is up higher and everybody else's is lower, and they want to keep you in that lower position because it talks about their authority, right? So this man says this, brother, and I said, okay, this brother is something different. He said, and for all you African American people here, he said. And you know when he do this, when he take the thing off like this, he's gonna say something because
he about to get real, bro.
Because you know they constantly had the recording on for if you miss class you can get the CDs and all so. So he took the thing off. He said, African American people, he said, y'all don't sit, y'all stand. You don't let them sit you down. You don't let them push you down. You don't let them keep you. I was like.
Real, bro.
And then he went a step further, brother. He said, don't you let them put you down. You keep standing. You keep moving. And he rose. He put it up. Look, brother, put it up. And I said, who is this dude? So
real one, bro.
So man, yeah, man. When you think about the Rhema days, man, but man, that was a divine time. I think I was going there to get something to obviously get something that was needed for me to take back, right? Certain things that I got that I didn't know in terms of spirituality. Not all the logistics of all the other stuff and how all this and that is still going on. Which there's an awakening right now that I came to in 2020, which I'm sure you have too, and probably before me. You probably on some 2015, 2010. Mine was 2010. You probably got your 2010. But look, 2020, bro. I got an awakening in terms of like just what church is and not, and what we make it to be, and just culture and ethnicity.
They fear it.
Well, yeah, I understand there's two different things, right?
Yeah.
Culture is, when you talk about culture is you can have a culture of hip hop. You can have a culture coffee, right? You have a
Yeah.
culture of a culture is a group of people who get together
Mm.
of the same mind, and that is what creates a culture, right? That's culture, right?
Mm.
So when you talk about church
Mm-hmm.
culture, when you talk
Mm-hmm.
about and that, and even when you talk about when you break down the
Come
ethnicities
on, man.
of the church, then
Come
you're
on.
talking about white church culture, black church culture, small church culture, mega church culture. I mean, there's
Come
so many
on, bro.
different cultures in it, and even inside of mega church, you got so many different cultures. In that, you have it's culture it takes a group of the same thing, and I think right now we're in such a need of a what you said woke,
Mm-hmm.
a woke culture, a conscious culture that
Mm-hmm.
says we all can look and see
Yeah.
the massacre of Black Wall Street. No matter what race you are, it takes eyes to be able to see that, not necessarily, you know, color, but obviously we identify with it more because it's buried in our heritage, our roots, and who we are. The games talk about Black Wall Street all the time. I never even caught what he was talking about, bro. It's
Yeah.
crazy,
Because
but
they talk about it, bro. And when you come in, I always say this, man, like, because for me, it was an album I released called Black Is, and I'll never forget the feedback that I got from that. Because that's when for me, and I say it like this, like most people, because when I started a hip hop head. And when I started to like confess my faith, I'm still a hardcore Christian. My faith and my values are important to me. But like I was
same.
labeled a Christian hip hop artist. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that because that's what I thought I had to do.
Well, you sound like somebody I know.
And I did. I thought that's what I had to do. And like, I still consider myself a Christian hip hop artist. It's just other people don't. And like, I may not like the way I delivered the message, but when Gospel Gangsters came up, they was praised for it. But I
Boy, the
was told,
gospel game.
hey, bro, but I was told I was going to hell for it. So, and the thing is, bro, like real talk, one thing I don't hold against Rhema, but one thing I realize is that the scripture where it says, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. I came there to just renew my mind and spirit, but at the same time, they were trying to renew my culture and my blackness by little microisms where my hair would get the comments and the way I dress would get
Did y'all hear you say it back there?
Boy. Like, and that's when I realized that we move differently, and I realized that this ain't for me. And really, Keith Neighbor was somebody who really he poured in me my last year to say something to me to help me. Doug Jones was always
Neighbor, bro.
Yeah, he said something to me. He convinced me to come my last year where I met y'all. And my last or second year, I get all of it a blur. But when I realized is that honestly, bro, like it's nothing against them, but I realized we was on two different wavelengths. And then I always had to question it because spiritually I would be like, how can we live in a place where, and I feel sorry for it because what happened on 9/11, we never forget. But then you don't even want to talk about a massacre that forget. Our history has to be forgotten. And when you talk about that and you say, oh, we can talk about too much. Why is it always got to be about race? The best way to stop talking about race is stop talking about it. I was like, I've never understood that. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So stop talking about something that you don't tell a child that. You don't. You don't tell a child. Let's talk your feelings out. But as African Americans, you're taught that you're not. You're
always in your feelings and also that, right?
Yeah, you got posted. That's a whole other thing, bro.
Ooh.
But I feel you. I feel you. But like I said, they taught me. They told me about renewing my mind, but the whole time it was microisms to try to renew and change my culture and to silence my blackness. And we're good. We're good.
It's true, man. You're right, man. I mean, you can't have braids, you can't have long. It's trying to strip you from this thing, man. Yeah. Oh.
And then you guys, as all the friends who I had there, that were all my brown friends who were especially from cities or areas where they would consider a hood, and I hate that, but like how how it go, like. Y'all was the first positive light outside of high school. I saw some of those. I had black friends who were Christian, but even in the church, how like when you look at how we were taught with blackness, it's kind of like this. My pastor, my OG favorite pastor, Fred Price, when he talked about race, religion, and racism, he was condemned for that. But now we're in the era where the church wants to praise that. Well, you got to give Fred Price not only his roses, but an apology for the things that he was trying to point out that nobody wanted to talk to. they talk about. So
You know, it takes a lot of courage, boldness to really stand up um, to stand up and against what you're familiar with.
bro,
As a community, I say this to a lot of people, and I'm on record saying this. We have sold out so many times, bro, and they're not willing. I don't see the willingness to sell out as So Dad Hagen, right?
yeah,
Obviously, he was a G, straight up. I mean, that dude right
respect
there.
it, bro.
Um, I can tell that he probably had a problem with it, but didn't have the. I don't know. I ain't gonna say the boldness. He probably was just like, man, I don't care about none of that. This is about da 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 da. But we come into a place now. If it's about this, then we have to address that, right?
Silence is complacency.
And it's complacency. But I know he was a focused dude. What's crazy is, man, I went there in 06 as my first year, but originally I was supposed to go there in 03, which was his last year, live.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So I always be like, dang, I could have met that dude. So, but yeah, man. So life story. You grew up born in Compton, rooted in Compton, went to the AV. From the AV, comes to Oklahoma of all places.
Yes, sir. Legacy, legacy, legacy. Tell me, how do you remember me? Say a prayer for my enemies, killing off negative energy. I don't care what you saying. Flow just went Super Saiyan. I'm talking about Trunks and Vegeta, but I'm too bad to be a Goku. Written in color, that's my go-to. She know the pit when you go through. Get these paws if you want to. All them games you been playing, now all them lies you been saying. But I'm so Vino that I'm Kobe, and they still mad at the old me, but they ain't really get to know me. Legacy, legacy, legacy.
Dios me conceda serenidad. Legado, legado, legado.